Hey, hello guys. This is Patil here. Today, I would like to show you how do we print different types of patterns using core Java. So the patterns can also be printed, using different languages. But here, for today's session, I've chosen core Java. So what are the patterns we are going to print? So let us try to print these following patterns. Basically, I'm using star here. You can use any other character as well. So let us print this first, pattern. So where is this? Looks like a square where we have, five stars here. So five rows and five columns. Let us try to print this, right? So before I go and print this, so I would be basically would like to tell you that if you use system.out.println, as you all know that this is going to print whatever text that you give, it is going to print in the console, right? And then if I say one more system.out.println to say Java, then what happens here if I run this? You will see here welcome is printed in one line and Java is printed in the second line, because the moment you say system.out.println, it will print this and go to the next line. That means here by default you have the slash and added over here. This is already available in the system.out.println. It will print in the line and go to the next line at the end. But if I don't use this ln, there is one more print statement that uh, some people are not aware. So basically what this does now is this is going to print on the same line. Now see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to print welcome here, and then I'm saying print Java. So now what happens here is there is no slash and added, and if I run this now, you will see that both welcome and Java printed on the same line, right? So this plays a very crucial role when we print the patterns. Okay, so let us start one by one patterns. The first pattern that we have chosen over here is this square pattern of stars. So I will try to write different methods over here so that we can quickly call them. So I will say public static void print square pattern, right? So what is the requirement over here? My main method is static, that's why I'm writing a static method over here so that quickly we can call and verify. So how many rows we want? We want basically, just see here, always remember it always goes like this. How many rows you want? You want, let us say, 1 2 3 4 5 rows, right? So that has to go as a outer loop, always remember. So I will say here for int x is equal to say 1, x is less than or equal to say 5, and then say x plus plus, because I want to iterate how many times? 5 times, because I have 5 rows, right? So the first loop represents here the number of rows, and then in the first row, how many iterations, how many stars I want to print? I want to print 5 stars. Okay, so then I will have to write my inner loop over here, and then I'll say int y is equal to 1 and y is less than or equals to say 5. This 5 can be any number. Here I have chosen only 5, and then say y plus plus. So now I'm just saying a system.out.println. Instead of println, as I said, I'm using system.out.print, and then I'm trying to print a star over here. Okay, and the pattern that we've chosen is after star there's a space, after star there's a space. So what I'll do is I will just add that space over here. So how this works is, sorry for the typo, y plus plus. Okay, so okay, this is a capital one. So what is happening here is how this nested loops works in Java. It is like this. For every cycle of the outer loop, let us say this loop starts now, it gets inside, and then the inner loop starts. So so the value of x is 1, right? And for one cycle of the outer loop, inner loop will run for all the cycles. That means when the value of x is 1, we are going to print 5 stars in the first row, right? It is all in the same row because it's not ln. So once this inner loop is over, that means the first cycle of the inner loop is over, then it will come back and go to the next cycle of the outer loop. When x is 2, again we are printing 5 stars. But what we want, once the inner loop is printed, I just want to print one blank line. If you just give system.out.println, then it's just going to print one blank line. So that's it. This is what is going to print your square pattern. So let us quickly call this inside the main method and verify whether it is giving us the results or not. So let me run this. Here you go. So if you see here, 5 rows and 5 columns. Is that so simple? Right. So now let us go to the next pattern that we want to print. Okay. So the next pattern is little different. So this is just a triangle, right angle, triangle. So let us see how do we print this. So just check again how many rows we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And in first row, how many columns we want, how many stars we want, say 1. In the second row, it is 2. In the third row, it is 3. So that means if x is 1, y also should be 1. When x is 2, y also should be 2. That is the condition. That means y should be less than or equals to x. That's the logic here. So let us try to write it. So now let me write a different method altogether over here so that we don't get confused. Public static void print pattern. I'll just say 2, right? So now see here, let us write the again the outer loop. Int x is equal to 0. You can start from 0 or 1, doesn't make any difference. It's just a counter. X is less than or equals to 5, right? Then say x plus plus, right? And then let us start the while loop here. The inner loop for int y is equal to 0. Again, 1. We always use, to 0 for arrays and collections. So that's why, otherwise you can start. In this case, it's better. 1 is better because either it's 0 or 1 is just a counter, as I said. Y is less than or equals to x. This is the only key logic over here because you want the y to run, the inner loop to run as many times as that value of the x. Okay, so then say y plus plus. That's it. So then once we go into the inner loop, if the value of y is 1, maybe I want to print 1 star, then there's a space. Remember, this is crucial here. And then the value of x is 2. Let us, after this, as usual, we need to put system.out.println, and don't forget that this has to be system.out.print and not println. So how this works? Value of x is 1, value of y is 1, loop, it goes inside and prints a star, and then second time value of y will become 2. 2 is less than or equal to 1, no, condition becomes false. Come to the next line, print a blank line, go here, x becomes 2, y value is 1 and 2. So now see, second time it will print 2 stars, third time when x value is 3, it will print 3 stars. That's it. So let us quickly run this and verify. I will just run this quickly. So can you see here? So this is what is the triangle that we were looking for. This is our second pattern. Now come to the third pattern. This is a little tricky. So just see what is happening here. We have basically, again 5 rows. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and we have 5 columns. In the first row we have 5 columns. In the second row we have 4 columns. In the third row it is 3 columns. It is like this. So what is happening here is the value of y. That means the inner loop should decrease, right? So when the x value is, say, x is, you're basically looping between say 1 to 5, but the y value should come down, right? So the y should basically, you have to use a decrement operator for y. So let us quickly write this and check. Yeah, so yeah, so here let me open my Eclipse. Yeah, so okay, this is what is my Eclipse. So now what I'll do here is I will use print public static void print pattern say 2, right? So what is the pattern that we are trying to print here? Okay, pattern 3 I will make. Pattern 2 is already there. So what is the pattern we are trying to print? This pattern, right? So again, how many rows we want? We want 5 rows, right? So let us put the outer loop. I will just copy this. I will go by this, and then, so for the inner loop, what we want? For the inner loop, what we want, as I said, the y value should come down. So y value, how many stars we want in the first row? 5. Second row, it is 4, 3, 2, like that. So what I'll do here is, for y, I will say int y is equal to 5. I will start from 5, and then y is greater than or equals to x. Then say y minus minus. Right, I'll explain what is happening over here. System.out.println, again not println, it is system.out.print. Put a star here, then one more blank line over here. So let us quickly run this and check how this works. Then I'll be explaining you what is the logic. So now if you see here, what is happening? So when the value of x is 1, right, and x is 1 is less than or equal to 5, true, it goes in, gets into the inner loop, and then the inner loop, if you see here, y value is 5. So and y is greater than or equal to yes, x, that is yes, y is 5, x is 1, it is true, it goes here into that and prints 5 stars. Why 5 stars? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even we have put the equals to over here, that 1 is equal to 1, that also condition is true, and that also gets printed. So once 5 stars are printed, one blank line, then x value will become 2, y value will start from 5, 5, 3, 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 will not be considered because 2 is greater than 1, right? So this condition will become false and then it comes out. So it comes decreasing one by one, then finally we have this particular pattern that gets printed. Hope this is clear. Now coming to the fourth one. So what we want, if you just see here, this logic is little different here. So what we want, this is looks like almost as a mirror image. So how many rows we have? Again, we have 4 rows. Okay, so we have how many rows? Sorry, 5 rows. And how many columns we have? In the first row, we have how many columns? In the first row, we have 5, and then then we have say 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, but just a small catch here. Just see here. So this is my star, right? In the second row, what I want to do is, if I give a space and then print a star, it comes over here. That we don't want. So what we want is, because we are using space here, just here, one space, two space. After two spaces, what I want to, print the star. So now let me quickly tell you how do we do that. So I will just copy the same method and just rename it just for the sake of saving the time, and then I will mark it as, let us say, 4. Okay, so this again, x, basically for the 5 iterations we want 5 rows. Then what we want in the first row, what we want, we don't want any space, right? Directly we want to print everything, right? So let us do that. So what I'll do here is, we have to have two loops here. So why do we need to have two loops? Let me tell you that. So first I'll say for int y is equal to, you know y is equal to 1, y is less than or equals to x, y plus plus. So that means y value will start from 1, and then for the first iteration of x, I will remove this equals to here. I'll tell you why is that I'm removing it. And system.out.println, system.out.print. So now I just want to put a blank space here, right? Blank space. Okay. Ultimately, there are two blank spaces. Yeah, that's what we want. So that means when the x value of x is 1, I go here, y is equal to 1, y is less than x, is 1 is less than 1? No, condition become false, comes out. That means when the x value is 1, we are not printing anything. We are not even printing the blank spaces, right? Then what I want to print here? I want to print, I want to use the same loop here again, but this time I want to print what? I want to print a star here. Then one space, one space. So what happens here? In the first row, when the value of x is 1, this loop gets completely executed. No space we have printed. And then it will come to this particular loop. Then again, see, this is again a block level. Don't think that we are using two duplicate local variables here. This is for one block. This is for another block. So the value of y is only applicable for this block. Now here again we are initializing y with 1, and then 1 is less than or equals to here, because you want to print that, consider the upper limit as well, and then y plus plus. So if you just see here, what is happening here? Y is equal to 1. So 1 is less than or equal to 1. Yes, true. Then it's going to print this. Yeah. So we need to print 5. Sorry guys. So what we want to do, we need to print 5 stars here, right? So then the condition should go like this, because in the first row you need to print 5 stars. So I will say here greater than are equals to 1, then say y minus minus. That's all. So what is happening here? Y value is 5. 5 is greater than or equals to x, right? So x is 1. Then once x becomes 2, 5 is greater than or equal to yes. Then it will keep printing the triangle stars one by one, one by one. Let us quickly check this. Then maybe we can come down and see this once again. Oops, this is wrong. So what is happening here? So what is happening here is this is printing. If you just see here, it is printing 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star. But what is happening here after this print, there is no new line added over here. So that is when if I add a blank new line and then we will see here, this gets printed like this. So in the first row, there are no spaces. In the second row, if you just see here, there are 2 spaces added. In the third row, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces added. Here, if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces added. So how this is happening? This is just happening because we are using 2 space here, and then for every iteration, when the value of x is 2, this will run 2 times. This will run 1 time. When the value of x is 3, this will run 2 times. Right? So it is always multiplying. When the value of x is 2, this is running only 1 time. That means 2 spaces. When the value of x is 3, this is running 6 times. Right? So according to that, we are getting this particular pattern. Hope this is clear to you. Yeah. Sorry for the little bit of confusion. Now, going to the last pattern that we want to print is maybe a triangle in the reverse direction like this. Now, how do we print this? So let us quickly see here. For now, I will not, make any changes in this method. I will just reduce one space here. That's all. So what is the meaning of that? See, what we are trying to do here is instead of using 2 spaces, I am just reducing 1 space here and then comes over here like this. That's all. And here also, if you just see here, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, I need to reduce it to half of that. That is basically 1, 2. Wherever 2 was there, I'm making it as 1. Wherever 3 was there, 4 was there, I was making it to 2. See here, 1, 2. Then here, similarly, I will just reduce spaces here. Now see how many spaces are there? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Then the last one is this. That's it. Then we have this pattern. So if I just reduce one space over here, instead of 2, if I make it as 1, then you will have that. That's it. The reverse triangle is printed. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed this. Please do like, if you like this, please do subscribe to my channel. I would like to upload more and more videos. Thanks guys for watching. See you next time. Please subscribe.